Actually, there was a few guys, but obviously we all wanted a place to work out, and we all wanted to be together. And we knew that there was going to be a lot of uncertainty, but we were all about, worry about the things we can control. And at this point, the fact that we're locked out, what can we do? Where can we work out? Where can we kind of come together and try to, put together as much of an off-season program as we can. And so, thanks to the people here at Tulane and Rick Dixon, the athletic director, and then all of his staff, we were able to put together really a great program, a great facility here. If this thing goes the distance, I mean, we're ready to be here as long as it takes.
What was the response? What are you trying to accomplish with these workouts? Is it different? Is it different because of the circumstances?
Honestly, it's to prepare us to have a championship football season. I mean, that's obviously our ultimate goal, and I feel like the more organized you can be as a team, and the more that you can communicate during this time, in May and June and July, prior to hopefully a normal training camp and then a season, I think the better off you'll be once the season does come around. But like I said, none of us know how long this is going to last. We hope this ends tomorrow, but I mean, it could go into the season. Obviously, it's what none of us want. All we want to do is play football. But at this point, this gives us the best position to be successful once the season does start. Yeah, it definitely helps being a veteran team. It also helps having young guys that are strong character and willing to follow the leaders on this team. And when you have veteran guys showing up like Sharper and Vilma and countless others, Stinchcomb, Heath Evans, David Thomas, all these guys that then the young guys can look at and say, you know what, these guys are doing the right thing. These guys know how to be a pro, and I want to be there because I want to show them that I'm committed too.
Drew, are you optimistic that we'll play football this season?
I am. I'm very optimistic. But then again, there's only so much we can do as players and our class council as we work towards a settlement agreement and really, at the moment, just trying to get this lockout in.
Do you think, I know that you're the face, or one of the faces of the lawsuit, do you think that you'll have pressure, receive pressure from other players that maybe aren't as well established and financially secure, and do you have to kind of calm those guys down and say, look, we're on your side, we're all in this together, because yeah. I'm sure dissent amongst the ranks once guys could potentially lose checks could happen.
Well, right. And we all had a lockout fund that we've built up over the last few years to prepare for something like this. And so there are guys, veteran guys that have, money in that account to basically help them through this off season. And yet there's some young guys, first year, second year guys that might need some help, and they're getting help from veteran guys. So in many ways, this is players helping players. This is veteran guys taking care of young guys, not only just if it's financially, but mentally on how to prepare getting through something like this, and just knowing that we stick together and we just continue to fight and do things the right way, then this will all end the way it's supposed to, with us back to playing football again.
You rattled off some of the players who aren't under contract. Does it surprise you that they're here considering that, and do you blame a guy if they're not under contract?
No, I don't blame them if they're not here, just because the risk with all this is we have no injury protection. So normally if we were at the facility and we were playing under an agreement, then you're protected if you get hurt, you have a season-ending injury, you go on IR, and you still get compensated for that. Whereas guys, you take a risk by being here potentially, and yet, hey, we would all be working out somewhere anyway. So why not do it together, and why not do it in an organized fashion where it's very football related. It's like I said, I mean, it's preparing us to have a championship type season, and I feel like this is putting us way ahead of other teams around the league just by the fact that we're so organized.
How long do you make of drafting Mark Ingram?
I think, first of all, I think it's great. I think he adds an awesome element to an already pretty impressive backfield that we have. So when you look at Pierre Thomas, Chris Ivy, Reggie Bush, and now Mark Ingram, I think all of them have unique strengths. I think when you take, when you have that three of physical backs like you're talking about with Pierre and Ivory and Mark Ingram, you need that many guys to be able to pound the ball. And then you throw in Reggie, whose ability to be split out, catch the ball, and run the ball in any situation. I mean, that's 4 guys that are pretty lethal.
What do you make of Reggie up?
Yeah, I mean, I saw his tweet just like you did, right after. I think that's just, frustration a little bit, just because, they draft a guy at your position, so. But I think the message that was sent to him was by no means look at that as, the fact that you're getting shown the door, that we don't want you or anything like that. I mean, in fact, you could probably look back to 5 years ago when Deuce McAllister was sitting there and Reggie Bush gets drafted as the 2nd pick. So the roles have almost been reversed, and yet I think Deuce handled that situation better than anybody ever could have. And he had one of his best seasons in 2006 and was a huge part of our success. I think Reggie has that same potential to be that big a part of our success this year, despite the fact that we've got 3 other guys, but each of them plays a role. And I think that's the important thing is anytime you go in a season, especially at that position, everybody plays a role. You need 3 or 4 guys. As you can see last year, how many we need last year? 6. You need that many guys because it's a physical position.
Did you reach out to Reggie?